Welcome everyone. My name is Dr. Elena Michaels and it's the full moon. And we're going to be talking about that tonight. It's going to be this evening in California around 8:00 p.m. And so this is the guided meditation, card reading, and guided meditation for Wednesday, December 7th. If you haven't already subscribed to my channel, I would love it if you would please hit subscribe below and subscribe. That would be so awesome, and I would be so incredibly honored. I do this on YouTube right now because basically I got in the habit of doing it this way. Before, we were doing it in a room in Valencia, California, and it was every Wednesday. And then COVID hit, and I started doing it online, and I just continued to do it online. Now, when we were meeting in the room, I was able to pick up on the energy of everyone in the room and what was going on with them. However, since I've been doing it here in my house, there is no one here to pick up on the energy. And so I got the guidance to start pulling the cards and pull out my decks of divination cards. So that is what is going to happen tonight. Nothing is pre-recorded, nothing is pre-rehearsed, nothing is pre-written. It's just instantaneous as it comes down. Now, one thing about me is, because I'm an intuitive and my energy, I'm very sensitive to energy, I start releasing when I do these things. And sometimes it's more releasing, sometimes it's less releasing. And what I mean by releasing is my eyes start to water, my throat I have to clear my throat, I might cough, my nose may run, I may yawn a lot. And all of that is just releasing energy so that I can better pull in the words that I need to say to you for the card reading. The cards act like a map. And so the cards, I will lay them out on this table here after we draw them. And that will be the map as to where we're going to go in the guided meditation. Already, my throat is dry. So already I'm starting to release. I'm not a fortune teller, but I do suggest that if you have a question or a concern or a dilemma, that you keep it in mind or even write it down to see if the cards will give you some clarity. The way this works is the cards that show up are the cards that are beneficial for everyone who is watching or listening whenever they watch or listen. And you will see that if you watch this video once and you see the cards and you have a question, and then you watch it again a couple days later, the cards will still make sense to you for even maybe another question, because you may hear something the second, third, fourth, or fifth time that you didn't hear the first time. And the cards have a way of almost shape-shifting to be able to be present and help you with clarification in the moment that you are actually watching or listening. I know, sounds strange, but that's the way it works. All right, so I want to tell you a little bit about the full moon, okay? This is the full moon in Gemini. Now, this is also called the cold moon, and it has been cold here lately in California. I don't ever remember a winter being this cold in California, but that's what's happening. So it's definitely a cold moon. And the thing about this moon, the full moon in Gemini, is that the moon is blocking Mars. So it's almost like an eclipse that is covering Mars. Mars is the planet of aggression. It's a very masculine planet. It's the planet of agitation, anger, warrior. So see if you need to soften up a little bit. The moon is soft, the moon is feminine, and Mars is masculine. So see if there's an area in your life that you might be angry or agitated or aggressive, and allow this full moon to help you soften a bit. If there's something that's been bothering you and you feel angst, or like you want to retaliate or in that kind of warrior, masculine, yang stance, allow this full moon to soften you up. Now, here's how you can get the full moon to kind of soften your energy. The moon is feminine. The moon is yin. The Mars is yang, very aggressive, masculine out there. The moon is yin. It's more contained, it's dark, it's internal, yin. So what you can do to soften it up, get in a bathtub with it being dark, with a little candle, some essential oils, and let yourself soak. Water is very, when you think about this, when you think about agitation and aggressiveness, it's kind of fiery, right? And water is the opposite. Water puts fire out. So the water in the bathtub, if you lay in there and you have the candles going, or one candle, a cup of tea maybe, some chamomile tea, maybe some nice music going on, then you'll be counteracting the energy of the aggressive Mars, okay? And anytime that you are feeling that kind of outward agitation, get in a bathtub. Now, I suggest you use plain Epsom salts that are unscented, and like 3 or 4 cups, because the Epsom salts have magnesium in them. And magnesium is a very calming mineral. I've had people in my private practice, you know, I work with people privately, I work with them remotely, and I've had people who have been very deficient in magnesium, and it's indicated for them that they take a magnesium bath, and they have told me that when they get out of that bathtub, they almost feel sedated, because the magnesium is very calming. And when you are very deficient in magnesium, and you get a big burst of it like that, it's like you can hardly wait to get to the bed, you know? You can hardly wait to get to the bed, and it feels like you've been almost like sedated or something. And it's a wonderful feeling because you sleep great, and it's a great way to get some magnesium into your system. And many people are magnesium burners. Type A people who are go, they tend to burn a lot of magnesium. Now, I tend to balance my life a little more than a go all the time. I need downtime to regenerate and recuperate, but I'm a magnesium burner too. I can just burn right through that mineral. So it's a mineral that's a very helpful mineral for many people. And if you can get it through your skin in a warm bath, your pores are open and the magnesium goes right into your pores, right into your system. It's great. Okay, so we've got this full moon going on, and this is a time to just really contain yourself. You know, don't be so out there. This is a time to contain yourself. A little more yin when the moon is full, a little more internal, okay? And to get ready for what's coming next, because we're moving into the new moon. And when the new moon happens, new things start happening. So now is the time to contain, regenerate, repair, renew, contain. Getting ready for the next phase of the moon, which is going to be coming and bringing wonderful new energy, planting new seeds, and it's going to be great. I really do think 2023 is going to be a great year. This year went by so fast. And I think that we're moving into what's going to be a really great year for many of us. Okay, now it's time for the cards. All right, you'll probably notice that I talk rather quickly at the beginning of these videos, and as the video moves into the deeper states, I slow down and my voice tends to change a little bit. So right now I'm in that kind of fast, conscious place, all right? So we're gonna see what the cards have to say. All right, so I am going to put my glasses over here so they're not in the way. And I like to draw the cards on the camera so you can see me doing it, because when I first started doing this, somebody sent me a note and said, oh, you pick those cards out in advance, don't you? And I said, no, I don't. But they couldn't see it on camera, so they didn't know that I didn't. But I'm gonna do it right now. Actually, before I do the cards, I'm gonna pull a God card. This is this wonderful little magic box that I have here that someone gave me, and let's see what's in the God box. Open it up, and I'm gonna take a card, and let's see what it says. I just pulled it out. Oh, you didn't see me do it, so I'm gonna pull another one out. Okay, let's just take this one, whatever this one is. All right, this one. I'm gonna get my glasses so I can tell you what it says. Oh, and it matches my shirt, almost. Okay, this says, God is in everything I see because God is in my mind. That's from A Course in Miracles, and on the back it says, perception is creative. As you see it, so it is for you. Wow. Okay, let's think about this. God is in everything I see because God is in my mind. You know, if you wear rose-colored glasses, everything is pink. You wear yellow glasses, everything is yellow. You wear blue glasses, everything is blue. If God is in you, you will see God in everything. And God is in everything. Perception is creative. As you see it, so it is. So if you see something a certain way, you're creating it to be that way. If you want to change what you're seeing, you have to change your perception. So when you change your perception, we've talked about this before, reframing. When you change your perception, then you are able to see things in a different way, okay? So perception is creative. As you see it, so it is. For you, might be totally different for somebody else. If I see something and I say it's red, you might see it and say it's orange. But for me, it's red. For you, it's orange. We have to allow each other to have our differences in the way we see things. You can't convince me that if I see it red, that it's orange, because I see it red. I can't convince you that it's really red because you see it orange. God is in everything I see because God is in my mind. Love that. Perception is creative. As you see it, so it is. For you. Okay, so let's see what's going to be next here. Now, if you have a question or a concern, think about it. Now, like I said, I'm not a fortune teller, but what happens is the cards, as I talk about them and as they show up, they allow you, here's the releasing of the owning part. They allow you to go into a deeper place in your mind that may allow you to solve the problem in a more creative way. You know, they used to say, I think it was Benjamin Franklin, he'd take a nap and then he'd wake up and he'd have an idea about, oh, it was Thomas Edison. He'd take a nap and he'd wake up and he'd have the answer to a dilemma. That's because when you get your conscious mind out of the way, your subconscious mind can feed you information that may be very helpful to you. And so we're going to go into the subconscious mind. That's where we're going. Going on a little trip. Okay, let me make sure these are in the right direction. Okay. All right, so I'm going to shuffle these tarot cards. And as I'm shuffling them, I affirm that we are divinely protected by healing white light, and that everyone who is watching or listening, whenever they watch or listen, is divinely protected by healing white light. That no negativity can enter into our sphere, and that whatever cards come up are beneficial, helpful cards for everyone who is watching or listening whenever they watch or listen. Okay, let's see what comes up. And I listen to hear when they should be cut. Cut again. And cut one more time. And take the top card. And it is wonderful. Okay, this is the Ace of Pentacles, and I will tell you about it momentarily. But I'm going to take the card that was right behind it. Okay. And this is the Three of Wands. Okay, so I'm going to put these aside and talk about these cards. All right. This is the Ace of Pentacles. Now, I want you to look at this card. See these lilies right here? The lilies are the sign of the magician. This is like you have the power to walk the path that is right for you, be divinely protected as you walk it, and get to the heights of your being. Get to your highest self. You have the ability to walk down the path to get to the highest version of yourself. And you have the ability, because these are lilies, these are the flowers of the magician, you have the ability to create your highest version of yourself, okay? And it will be divinely protected, okay? This is a pentacle, and this is kind of coming out of nowhere, surrounded by light. If you look at this, this is the head, the arms, and the feet. When you stand with your arms out and your feet apart, you look like a pentacle, right? Can you see that? Head, arms, and feet, okay? So you have the power to create the version of yourself. Now, the pentacles have to do with the earth, all right? So what's the thing with the densest matter in your life? It's your body. You have the power to create your body in the highest possible vibratory frequency. You have that power. Don't squander it. You have the power to create your body in a higher vibration. That's so powerful. Now, pentacles tend to be about years, okay? So, I mean, you can't create a new body in like 1 week. Some people respond very quickly. I was talking to someone just the other day, and I put her on a program. She was having some issues. I put her on a program. We did her blood tests. I put the puzzle together. I figure out what's going on with somebody. She couldn't quite figure out what was happening with her, and we got it dialed in. I put her on a program, changed her diet a little bit, gave her a couple of supplements, and she told me the other day, she said, in such a short period of time, I think it was like a week or a week and a half, she said she felt completely different. She had much more energy, her mood was better, her brain was better. Now, some people respond very, very quickly. Others don't. But when you are working on creating a new body of light, a lighter version of yourself, a higher vibrational frequency of yourself, it can take a little time. Everybody's different. Some people, their body responds really quickly. Some people respond slower. So be patient with yourself, but get on it. This card is to let all of you know who are watching and listening that you have the power to do this, and the time is now. And it's really interesting because we're coming to the end of the year. We're moving into a new year. We're moving into a new cycle of the moon, the new moon. This is the time after the full moon is over to start something new, to start a new program, to start something new. If you want to wait till after the holidays, that's fine too. I can totally get behind that. But the time is now to create your new body of light. Bam, there you go. Now, the next card is, by the way, remember that first thing? God is in everything I see because God is in my mind. You have universal consciousness inside of you. You have the power to create, okay? Use your words to create what you want, not what you don't want. Use your words to create what you want. All right, next we've got the Three of Wands. Okay, this is a man. Wands are weeks, okay? This is about 3 weeks. 1, 2, 3. 3 of Wands. And within 3 weeks, well, actually within 3 weeks, we're going to be in the new year. This person is looking over what he has created. He's looking over his domain. And he's on a mountaintop, and there's water, and there's a couple little boats there. He's looking out on a vista. He's very grounded. He's wearing a red coat, but he's heart-centered. He's got a green little scarf on there. So he's heart-centered, and I'm going to put my glasses on because you will see that these wands are blooming. They are sprouting. This is a very creative. Wands are creative. They're ideas. They're air. They're very creative. And this guy is looking over his domain, looking at what he has created, and making assessments about what he wants to do next. And that's what most of us do at the end of the year. We look over the year and we think about what we want to do. Some people do vision boards. I didn't do one last year, but I've done vision boards pretty regularly. And then I do one of those big foam boards. I find magazine pictures and I put them up there, or words. And then I seal the whole thing with packing tape, clear packing tape, so nothing comes off and it stays protected from dust and dirt and things like that. So that's something you might want to do if you want to spend the time to create what's next for you. About 3 weeks. Think about 3 weeks, okay? All right, that's that from that deck. Now let's get into this deck, okay? Now remember, these readings are for you, okay? These are things that apply to you. This is not me doing a reading for myself with you watching. This is for you. This is for everyone who's watching or listening whenever they watch or listen. All right, we'll go into these angel cards now, and we want a little more substantiation, clarification, explanation. Give us more information about what we just saw here. And let's cut. All right, I'll cut again. There we go. And let's see what comes up here. Oh, I love this. Go for it. Woo! I love that. That's perfect. That's the perfect next card. Go for it. Because we're moving through this full moon. We're going to be going for it. And guess what? You're going to be creating like crazy. And guess what? This is a creative card and it's sprouting, and you're going to look at what you want to create. And it's like, let's go for it. Okay, now I'm going to read you about this card right here. What a beautiful card. She's on a unicorn, a white horse. Go for it. Your prayers and positive expectations have been heard and answered. We've been working with you on this situation since its genesis, and we continue to watch over you and everyone involved. Stay on your present path. It's going to take you very far indeed. What a beautiful, beautiful card. That is fabulous. And now I'm going to read you a little bit more about it. Go for it. You drew this card. Of course, we didn't draw any cards. The card showed up for us. You drew this card as encouragement for the situation you were asking about. Remember that situation? I said, think about that situation. The angels reassure you of a positive outcome, provided you continue to pour love and guided action into the situation. Guided action. Additional meanings. Don't hesitate. Now is the right time. You're on the right path. The idea that you have is divinely inspired. The angels foresee a successful outcome. Wow, I love that. That is fabulous. Go for it. One of the things that always amazes me is how these cards line up and make sense. They create a narrative. They just line up and make sense so that there's a story. And that's the story I tell you when we go into the guided meditation and the relaxation state. And that's the story that goes into your subconscious mind. More yawning. All right, we're going to go to this deck now and see what's cooking here. And let's shuffle this deck and see. We want more info. Give us more info, more clarification. The angels are speaking through the cards, giving us messages. Think about your questions. Think about your dilemma. Think about what you want clarity on. So far, the signposts are go straight ahead, the green light. All right, cut this. And here we go. Creative writing. Ooh, 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 ooh. Okay, now creative writing. That could be stories, plays, songs. Creative writing could be the words that you write to say to yourself. Archangel Gabriel